In this video, we are going to design universal shift register with mode selection input for all the four modes: serial in, serial out, serial in, parallel in, serial out, and parallel in, parallel out. Also, we have to simulate and synthesize it using Xilinx 14.7 ISC design suite, and for hardware implementation we have to implement it on Spartan 6 FPGA board. Coming to the block diagram, as you can see, it has two inputs, data input pins. One is for serial in and another one is parallel in. So it is for parallel input and parallel output, 4-bit data is considered here. In addition to these two data input pins, it has also two more inputs for clock and reset, and to mode control amongst these four modes we have 2-bit mode control input. For serial out, there is one data out and the another data output pin is for the parallel out. So this is the block diagram of the universal shift register. So for that we need to understand how the data will be transferred from serial in to serial out, parallel in to parallel out, serial in to parallel out, and parallel into serial out depending on the mode selection. So for that purpose this shift register is used over here. In the code we need to use some temporary signals to transfer the data at the appropriate location. So for writing VHDL code purpose we have to consider some intermediate signals to store some intermediate values. So here two signals are considered, P1 and P2, which are 4-bit. So whatever is the parallel input that will be transferred to P1, and whatever is the parallel output that will be transferred from P2 to P out. For serial in, whatever is the serial in that will directly appear at P1 of 0 in this 4-bit universal shift register, and whatever is the output of this universal shift register, that is P1 of 3, that will be transferred to S1, and from S1 it will be transferred to serial out. So this is how we are going to consider while writing this code. So as discussed in the block diagram, here you could see we have defined entity which consists of input and outputs. So here there is one parallel input, 4-bit parallel input P in, one 2-bit input that is mode, then 3 single-bit input that is serial in, clock and reset, and then there are 2 data output pins, one for parallel out that is P out, and another one is for serial out that is S out. So this is declared in the entity. Coming to the architecture part, in the architecture, as I have explained you in the block diagram, why we have defined these intermediate signals P1, P2, S1. Okay, so P1 is taking the input from P in, P2 transferring the output to P out, S1 transferring the output to S out. In addition to that, for implementation on the board, we need to slow down the clock. So for that purpose we have defined these two signals. One is temporary and another one is S clock. So your clock will be slowed down by transferring the bit from temp of 0 to temp of 1 and so on, and whatever is the MSB of that temporary bit, that will be transferred to S clock. So that will be explained in detail while implementation of the board will be explained. So begin. So initially we'll write a process for changing the values in the temporary signal. So that process will be sensitive to all the inputs like clock, reset, P in, S in, M, P1, P2 and S1. So if reset is equal to 1, 0 will be stored into the temporary variable, and if clock tick event and clock becomes 1, means at the rising edge of the clock your temporary signal will be incremented by 1. Then end if, end process, and whatever is the MSB of your temporary signal, that will be transferred to S clock. Then we have to write down the process for mode selection. So that is also sensitive to all the inputs, like now here instead of clock we have to consider slow clock. So here slow clock, reset, then parallel in, serial in, mode selection, P1, P2 and S1 as the signal, and then begin. Again we'll starting with the reset. If reset is equal to 1, your P1 will be 0 0 0 0 as well as S1 will be 0 0. Else if clock tick event clock is equal to 1, and then we have to check mode one by one. So if mode is equal to 0 0, which is the mode? It is serial in, serial out. So whatever is the value in the S in, that is your data in pin, that will be transferred to your LSB of P1. From the LSB of P1, which is P1 of 0, that will be then transferred to P1 of 1. From P1 of 1 to P1 of 2. From P1 of 2 to P1 of 3. And finally, whatever is there in the MSB of P1, that is P1 of 3, that will be transferred to S1. And from S1, it will be finally transferred to S out, that is written in the output process. Then second mode, if your M is equal to 0 1. So which is this mode? It is serial in, parallel out. So again, whatever is in serial in data pin, that will be transferred to P1 of 0. Again, it will be shifted from P1 of 0 to P1 of 1, then to P1 of 2, then to P1 of 3. And finally, since it is a parallel in, parallel out, whatever are the 4 bits in P1, that all will get transferred to P2. And from that P2, it will be transferred to P out, that is defined in the output process. Then next, when mode is equal to 1 0, so that is what? It is parallel in, parallel out. So whatever is the input in the P in is transferred to P1. So we know P in is also 4 bit and P1 is also 4 bit. So from P1 it is transferred to P2, and ultimately from P2 it will appear at P out. Else means when mode is 1 1. So it will be parallel in, serial out. So whatever is in P in, that will be transferred to P1, but data is parallel, that means 4 bit, but output is serial. So we will observe only MSB of the data, and that will be initially transferred to S1, and from S1 it will appear to S out, and that is declared after this process ends. So end if, end process, and here you could see these two assignments. From P2 data will be transferred to P out, and from S1 data will be transferred to S out depending on the modes. And then end behavioral. So here this code ends. So once you write your code, you will have to check syntax set. If the syntactical errors are 0, you can do the synthesize, that is you can generate the RTL schematic. So appropriate hardware will be generated in the synthesize. So after that you can observe the RTL schematic, it will look like this. So here you could observe the block diagram representation of your hardware, wherein you could see inputs and outputs. If you double click on this, you will get the detailed architecture of your hardware. So this is what is this inside the block of your universal shift register. This is the detailed hardware. Then for simulation purpose, we have to write down the test bench. So in test bench, we'll be providing the values to all the inputs which we have considered while writing the code. So here entity test bench is n test bench. Then in the architecture, we have to declare the component which is there in the VHDL code. So the same names is used here in the component, and same signals are used whatever is there in the main code. Here in port map, that's why you could see P in is mapped with P in, S in is mapped with S in, and so on. And this is actually the thing which we need to define. So we have to write down the process for clock, for reset, and for various input combinations. So initially clock is assigned with a value 1, then wait for 10 nanosecond and then change clock to 0. So your clock will change between 1 and 0 after 10 nanoseconds. Then we have to write down it for reset. So reset is equal to 1, wait for 12 nanosecond and then make reset 0 and then wait. So we know when reset is equal to 0, then only your code will execute. That is what is the condition we have specified in the code, and that's why we have to write here wait. So it will wait and it will execute all the possible input output conditions. So then process for the input. So initially assign 1 1 1 1 to P in and 0 to S in, and let's assume that your mode is 0 0. Then wait for 250 nanoseconds. So for mode 0 0, that particular mode of the universal shift register will be executed. Then for 1101 is the P in is changed to 1101, S in is changed to 1, and then mode is 01. So that particular if statement will be executed for m is equal to 0 1. Then wait for 300 nanoseconds. Now input is kept same and mode is changed. So that particular mode will be executed, and at the end input is kept same and mode is changed to 1 1. So parallel in serial out, that is the last mode that will be executed, and this results can be observed in this simulation result. So here you could see that various modes you can see here, when mode is 0 0, when mode is 0 1, when mode is 1 0, and when mode is 1 1. So what kind of input outputs you observe over here, that we need to see. Now here you could see the marker is at 0 1 position. So in 0 1 position, what are the inputs and outputs are there, that you could see. So here input is 1 1 0 1, that is P in, parallel input. Then serial input is 1. Then you could see clock is 0, reset is equal to 0, and mode is 0 1. And you could observe that P out is what? 1. So this mode is what? Serial in, parallel out mode. So whatever is an S in, that gets transferred to P out, and S out is equal to 0. S out is 0 by default. Now for implementation on the board, we need to further slow down the clock. So the frequency of our board is 8 megahertz. And for observing 8 megahertz on the board, it becomes too fast. So we cannot observe the proper outputs. And so for that purpose, we have to convert it from 8 megahertz to 1 megahertz. So we know 8 megahertz can be written as 8 into 1k into 1k. So if you write it down, it becomes 2 raised to 23. It becomes 2 raised to 23. So now instead of 1 down to 0, we'll define time as 22 down to 0. And slow clock, in the slow clock, will be transferring the MSB of this temporary, that is 22 out 23rd bit, that is 23rd bit. Okay. Now for that I have made changes into the code, and that I have explained over here. So only change is what? Temp signal, it is changed from 1 down to 0 to 22 down to 0. And here in S clock, instead of temp of 1, we have to transfer temp of 22. Rest other thing is same. Rest other thing is same. And then you have to give the implementation constraint file. So what is the meaning of this implementation constraint file? You have to assign various pins from the boards to the inputs and outputs. So here you could see this L15. This is the pin which is assigned to our input clock. Then P out of 0. For that the output LED U18, that is assigned. For P out of 1, M14. For P out of 2, N14. And for P out of 3, L14. So these are the LEDs which we need to assign to the outputs. And one more output is there, that is S out, and for that purpose we have assigned M3. Now for input we need to assign switches. So here for parallel input, P in of 0, P in of 1, P in of 2 and P in of 3. A10, D14, C14 and P15 is assigned. Similarly for S in, we have assigned P12. We have one more input reset. For that reset, pin number R5 is assigned. And we have again 2-bit mode input. So for that purpose M0 and M1 is assigned. For M of 0 it is T5 and for M of 1 it is E4. So this all things you need to specify in your UCF file. That means what? You are mapping your board pins and LEDs to the inputs and output is in your entities. And finally, when you implement it on the hardware using the process that will be explained in the next video for the simulation and implementation using Xilinx and Spartan 6. So in that case you will observe this kind of output like added Xilinx device successfully. So once it is done, you will have to simply program it and you will observe the output on the board. Thank you.